Well, things are heating up at the state capitol over controversial actions by a Republican committee. Last month, the House Appropriations Committee voted to discontinue $645 million in funding for a number of programs.
And that funding had been approved for the 2026 budget, but Republicans were looking to cut down on waste, fraud, and abuse, mirroring cuts on the federal level by the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Democratic State Senator Sarah Anthony of Lansing requested the Attorney General's formal opinion on this matter, and here's what Dana Nessel had to say.
Our state constitution does not permit for one committee within one chamber to hold veto authority over a budget that was passed by both the state House and Senate and then signed into law by the governor.
Democrats at the state capitol celebrating the decision, asking Republicans to now release the funding that they removed.
But Republican House Speaker Matt Hall called the opinion a political decision, saying, quote, "We are going to sue because Michigan taxpayers need someone to fight for them and stop this absurd and incorrect interpretation of Michigan law." While the opinion did not come from a judge, in Michigan, written opinions from the Attorney General are binding for the state government until they're overturned.